I needed more than 1 million just to get in for 20 minutes. And even then, I'm not sure it was worth it, because what I found inside, no one should ever see, but everyone should know. The most secure prison on the planet is not in a movie, nor in a science fiction series. She is real, isolated, surveilled, and designed to erase not just the crimes of its inmates, but their own identities. What led me there was not just curiosity. It was an almost obsessive need to understand what money can really buy and what he can never give back. This prison is a place where not even the soul is allowed to escape. The eyes of those inside no longer carry guilt or hope. They carry the emptiness of those who know that the end is not death, it is oblivion. Everything is controlled: steps, sounds, gestures, thoughts. The light doesn't go out, time doesn't pass, surveillance is constant. It's as if reality itself is being watched by eyes that never blink. And when you go in, even if just for 20 minutes, you feel it, not in the body, but in the silence that tightens your chest and shows you that there is a type of prison that not even money can avoid. The one that lives in the conscience. It wasn't luxury that took me there. It wasn't status. It was a type of courage that, today, I don't know if I would have again. Because there is no possible preparation for what you encounter when you cross those gates. What begins as a controlled visit turns into a deep dive into something that goes far beyond the bars. And what I discovered in there won't leave me anytime soon. Inside, there is no ambient sound, no bird song, no echo of free footsteps. There is only the oppressive silence of total surveillance. CECOT's arrest was not meant to punish. It was made to erase. Not just the names, but the human traits, the feelings, the memories. Each detainee is reduced to a code, a figure among thousands of others, all dressed the same, all looking at the floor as if it were the only piece of the world that still belongs to them. I walked among them. I looked into the eyes of someone who was once a man, and today is just a body in a state of survival. The towers, the electric fences, the sensors, everything looks like something out of an entity containment laboratory, not an ordinary prison. But it wasn't fiction. It was real. And I was inside. And what I saw, you need to see it too. Because if there is a place where freedom is expensive, it is here. So subscribe to the channel, now, because this is just the first truth of many that I will show you. Truths hidden behind walls that only the very rich can overcome. The doors opened with a dry, metallic sound, as if the steel itself was reluctant to let us enter. The smell was one of absence, the absence of life, of color, of anything other than control. There was no wind, no set temperature. It was as if the air was in suspension, trapped in the same state since that place was first sealed. We advanced through endless corridors, surrounded by double bars, surveillance mirrors, and cameras that followed us like hungry eyes. No voice echoed. No step was taken without the entire prison knowing. The walls absorbed even thoughts, and every inch of there seemed to scream in absolute silence. You don't belong in this world. A guard accompanied us in silence, the face covered, the body in tension. Not for us, but for what was behind the next doors. They were the containment modules, each with hundreds of men stacked in 4-story iron structures, without mattresses, without sheets, without pillows. They sleep on bare metal, with their heads in their arms, as if they could still protect themselves from something. The light, it never goes out. It's the kind of white light that has no heat or shadow. It doesn't allow the body to know if it's day or night, if an hour or a week has passed. It's the kind of light that disorients, that tires, that drives you crazy. They sleep with towels over their faces, but even that is an act of desperation, not comfort. The cells were designed for 80. But they house 150. Men cramped together like pieces of a puzzle that will never be put together. Individual space is so limited that you can't stretch your legs. 2 bathrooms for all of them. 2 holes. One to urinate, another one for the rest. No doors, no discharge, no dignity. Next to it, a basin with still water that is used for both drinking and bathing. The same water. The same shame. The same eternal routine. Whoever makes mistakes within this routine, whoever speaks loudly, whoever looks the wrong way, whoever breathes deeper than allowed, goes to the cell of silence. There is no sound there. Not even light. Not even time. The floor is concrete. The bed, a cold slab. The door, a solid block with a tiny opening through which the only light that exists in that space enters. A thin, cruel crack that marks time like torture. It is not known how much time has passed. It won't even go out. Isolation is total. No books, no paper, no written prayers, no windows, just thoughts. And not even those survive intact inside. According to the guards themselves, even the coldest and most cruel criminals beg to leave those cells. Some cry, others go crazy. There are those who leave there looking lost, muttering disjointed phrases, as if something inside had been turned off forever. They call that space the second death. The control system is so absolute that the guards themselves do not know each other. They are masked. They do not reveal their names. They do not go out into the city without cover. It's too risky. Simple recognition can mean retaliation. Prisoners have no contact with anyone in the outside world. No letters, no phone calls, no visits, and many don't even know why they're there. Some were taken during major operations, mistaken for gang members because of their tattoos, their clothes, and the place where they were. But there's no way to fix it. Because there's no way to complain either. Inside CECOT, the only rule is, there is no world out there. And in the midst of all this, there is a detail that made me understand the real nature of that place. On the floor of certain corridors, there are gravels. Small loose stones that emit a specific sound when someone steps on them. They are not there by chance. They are part of a natural alarm system, because if, by some miracle, someone tried to escape, the sound of footsteps on the gravel would immediately give away their attempt. The prison was designed in layers, physical, mental, and sensory, so that no human action could happen without control, so that even the act of dreaming was monitored. The guard said to me coldly, "Here, even time is punished." And he was right, because in that place time is not used to count the days. It serves to slowly erase existence. It's as if the clock doesn't move forward. It falls apart. When I looked into the eyes of the prisoners, I saw no hatred, saw no remorse. I saw absence, a dark void that fills everything. It's impossible to be there and not feel that something inside you starts to want to run away. But you can't. Because running is not allowed there. Don't look too much. Don't even ask. There, you just breathe and hope to leave with something other than silence behind you. And at that moment I knew, CECOT is not just a prison. It is a cemetery of consciences. And I paid dearly to walk among them. He was sitting on a metal chair, with his hands cuffed and his gaze fixed on some point in the past that no one there could reach. The scar on the left side of his face didn't tell half the story. He wasn't just a prisoner. It was a legend, a name whispered in the streets, feared in the alleys, respected by other criminals as if it were some kind of entity. But there, in that suffocating room where even the air seemed controlled, he was just another body wearing white. When they called him Psycho, I thought it was an exaggeration. 10 minutes later, I understood that it wasn't a nickname. It was a label earned with blood, with pain, with decisions that surpass everything that you and I would understand as right or wrong. I lost everything, he said, without looking away. All. My mother died without seeing me. My son grew up not knowing who I am. My wife walked away when she realized I was never going to leave again. The words came out of his mouth like bricks, heavy, slow, hard. And when he talked about forgiveness, I almost didn't understand, because it seemed impossible that anyone inside was still looking for that. But he searched, not for what he did, but for what he lost. Not because I want to be free again, but because I want to be human again. And that destabilized me, because I wasn't prepared to feel anything in that place. I was trained to observe, to record, to count. But his story cut through any protection I thought I had. He said that the first murder was his own family. That too joined the gang. He needed to take the life of someone who raised him. After that, it was like falling into an abyss. The deeper he went, the further away he was from the possibility of returning. And now, sitting in front of me, with dozens of crimes behind him and a hole in his chest that not even time could cover, he only wanted one thing: for his son to know that he tried to repent. Tried. But is this kind of attempt worth anything? The interview ended without emotion. The guards dragged him away as if he hadn't said anything, as if it had no history, pain, or soul, just numbers. And there, in that uncomfortable silence, I realized the real weight of those walls. They are not just for arresting. They serve to erase what is human even in monsters. They serve to make any reflection on redemption impossible. And here comes the question: are they paying for what they did, or for who they became after doing it? It's easy to hate from the outside. Point, judge, condemn. But after looking into the eyes of someone who has nothing left, who has already served the social penalty of being forgotten, ignored, dehumanized, a part of you begins to wonder, is there any chance of recovery in a place built to destroy even the concept of time? To what extent is justice justice, and not just a punishment that feeds back on itself? I left there with a numb mind, no filming, no records, only with the sound of my own consciousness beating against the invisible bars of what I had witnessed. The safest prison in the world doesn't just protect society from criminals. It protects the very idea of forgiveness, because inside, forgiveness is seen as weakness, and those who show weakness do not survive. But still, the question gnaws at me. Would any of them still deserve a second chance? Of all the secrets I saw in that place, this is the only one I couldn't answer. And maybe you can. Tell me in the comments. If it were you there, locked up for the rest of your life, would you believe that it is still possible to be forgiven? Would you think it was fair that someone who destroyed lives could ask for mercy? Or do you believe that there are mistakes that never deserve forgiveness? Comment there. I want to know what you think about this. Because what I saw, I still can't forget it. And perhaps with your words, I will understand better what I haven't yet had the courage to admit. If you would also pay to see what no one else sees, then this is the right channel for you. Because here, wealth isn't about big cars or ostentation. It's about access. Access to experiences that border on the impossible. Places that most only hear about in whispers. Realities hidden behind walls, protocols and figures that only the very rich can overcome. And even then, not everyone comes back the same. What you've seen so far was just the beginning of a journey of no return, an immersion in worlds where curiosity is expensive. But ignorance can be even more expensive. While many use money to escape discomfort, here we use it to get into it. Because it is in the most absurd, bizarre, and unbelievable experiences that the stories that no one tells live. Places where time behaves strangely, where silence has weight, where every detail hides a secret. And it is exactly in these places that I will take you. One destination at a time, one truth revealed per episode. So if this type of content captures you, challenges you, gives you that feeling of, oh my God, I need to see this to the end, leave a like, subscribe to the channel now, and activate the bell. It helps me keep digging deep, crossing borders and revealing stories that the world tries to hide. And get your suitcase ready, because the next stop is at a place where the cheapest meal costs 20,000 reais and an exotic dish can take away your voice for a whole week. It's real, it's extreme, it's surreal. And just watch until the end to understand the price you pay when you have money and courage. Did you enjoy this type of discovery? Comment below if you would have the courage to visit this place. And tell me, what hidden truth would you like to see in the next episode?